Walk away quietly and let the silence speak. True power doesn't rise in arguments or explanations. It begins in that simple, unspoken decision to step back and protect your peace. You don't storm out. You don't announce it. You simply let go. That quiet choice changes everything because silence has a voice louder than words ever could. It doesn't beg. It doesn't justify. It reveals. It uncovers who was genuine and who thrived only while you carried the weight. Walking away silently isn't an ending. It's an awakening. Peace isn't the absence of conflict. It's the absence of chaos masquerading as love. It's the moment you stop asking, "Why don't they see my worth?" and start realizing you were never meant to prove it. That invisible shift, that subtle clarity, is the rejection they will never recover from. You didn't fight them. You stopped feeding them. You withheld the attention that once empowered them. They feel it in the messages you don't send, in the spaces you leave, in the energy no longer reaching them. They call it rejection, but deep down, it's justice. The silence that once controlled the connection now becomes their consequence. Every replayed moment, every remembered word reflects what you already know. Nothing dismantles ego faster than indifference. You walk away, calm and steady, and they crumble in noise. They distract, they argue, they create chaos, but nothing fills the void. Silence leaves an echo, and that echo is your calm. It reminds them of what they lost. Someone who cared without condition, loved without manipulation, gave without keeping score. That energy is gone. That absence is power. This is Stoicism in action. Not detachment from emotion, but mastery over it. The art of remaining still when everything tempts you to react. Silence becomes your language. You're no longer asking for respect, you live it. Peace isn't being heard, it's being unbothered. And in that quiet distance they start to notice, not because you told them, but because your silence taught them. They remember your calm, your steadiness, your unwavering strength. By the time they understand what your silence meant, you are already gone, not just from their life, but out of reach. Silence doesn't end stories. It rewrites them. It transforms chaos into clarity, heartbreak into evolution. Walking away quietly is the loudest rejection they will ever feel. Underneath the noise, there comes a moment when you stop. Stop explaining. Stop justifying. Stop chasing someone who only ever met you halfway. It doesn't happen in anger, it happens in silence. Every unanswered message, every half-hearted word, every small withdrawal culminates in a single, quiet decision. You're done trying. That decision hits harder than any confrontation ever could. You used to think loud endings hurt the most, the screaming, the tears, the slammed doors. But the loudest break makes no sound. You step back, not to punish, but because you understand your worth. Peace follows chaos like calm after a storm. That is the moment power changes hands. They hear everything they once ignored. At first, they mistake silence for weakness. They think they won because you stopped fighting. But they didn't expect that someone who doesn't argue, doesn't chase, doesn't explain would leave so completely. They thrived on your reactions, your need to justify yourself, your desire to be seen and understood. Now all that's left is emptiness, and silence becomes the mirror they cannot escape. It reflects their own fear, the fear of irrelevance in the life of someone who once mattered. Clarity comes without bitterness. You realize you were never asking for too much. You were asking the wrong person. That realization brings relief, a quiet understanding that love isn't meant to feel like begging. You notice how heavy it was to carry both sides of the connection, your effort, their avoidance, your presence, their distance. Silence returns your balance. Peace isn't found in someone else changing. It's found in refusing to lose yourself. Slowly, they feel it. The absence that once gave them comfort now presses uncomfortably. They check their phones, scroll through old messages, replay moments they once dismissed. The silence that empowered them now confronts them with its weight. Walking away silently isn't about pride, it's self-mastery. It's emotional control that doesn't need to prove power. It embodies it. You no longer explain your value, you live it. While they wonder what happened, you're somewhere else, calmer, stronger, untouchable. Strategic silence transforms chaos into discipline, confusion into clarity, absence into the most powerful presence. You don't need revenge. Silence already speaks. They might try to fill the void, distract themselves, convince themselves they're fine, but silence doesn't fade. It echoes. Every memory, every song, every scent reminds them of the peace they once took for granted. That echo is your calm, and it burns deeper than anger ever could. You walk away not because you stopped caring, but because you finally understand that peace costs old patterns. Your need to prove your worth, your habit of chasing recognition, your energy spent filling gaps that weren't yours to fill. With each passing day, your stillness grows. You sleep better, think clearer, enjoy your own company. The silence that once felt empty now hums like freedom. That's real stoicism, feeling everything, yet never letting it control your direction. People start noticing, not the absence of noise, but the presence of strength, calm, and authority. They might test you, drop a casual message, or act curious. You don't react. Your indifference is a lesson, a mirror, a revelation. Over time, they realize the person they once took for granted has become unreachable. Your calm is no longer theirs to manipulate. They feel the gap in energy, the missing explanations, the steady tone of composure that can't be unsettled. Your silence becomes their paradox. You are gone, yet they cannot escape the consequences. They can replace conversation, but they cannot reclaim peace. Silence doesn't demand understanding, it delivers it through absence. And that is why walking away quietly is the ultimate power. It's transformation, it's mastery, it's freedom. You've learned that the loudest closure comes from never explaining. The most potent revenge is peace, and the real victory is living fully, untouched by what once sought to control you. Your silence is not rejection, it is revelation. And in that revelation, you are untouchable. If you resonate with this message, let it travel. Share it with someone who needs this clarity. Subscribe to NS Stoic Wisdom to stay connected to lessons in emotional control and silent power. Every act of engagement strengthens the understanding. Peace isn't passive. Silence isn't empty. It is full of power. Walking away in silence isn't loss. It's leadership. And that is the freedom no one who misunderstands it will ever forget.